Dan is a streetcar operator in the Czech Republic. He was making one last route to help out after a big accident, but he forgot to check the position of the track while entering an intersection. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Dan admits this accident was entirely his own fault, and he was sure he'd get fired. Instead, he was allowed to keep his job as long as he paid for the damage. It cost him about $3,000. Fortunately, his insurance provider covered most of the repair costs. He wanted us to remind everyone that streetcars take a long time to stop. Even going only 30 miles per hour, it takes about 250 feet for a streetcar to come to a complete stop. Jonathan was pulling into a parking lot and spotted a Ford van that was just leaving. When he tried to take the newly available parking place, the van backed up for someone else and hit Jonathan's Chrysler 200 in reverse. The van damaged the car's quarter panel, rear door, and side skirt. Luckily, everyone inside, including Jonathan's 2-year-old son, was okay. The repairs cost about $5,600, but since Jonathan was not at fault, the van driver's insurance provider covered the entire bill. Caden was driving his 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse in Pueblo, Colorado, when he watched another driver discover an interesting way to maneuver around traffic. Luckily, the Subaru driver didn't cause an accident. I wonder if they even noticed the completely empty lane to the left of the vehicle they passed. Huh, seems like they figured out how passing traffic is supposed to work after all. Levi was driving his Chevy Volt down Interstate 81 when he noticed a car traveling very fast in the far right lane. Suddenly, a pickup truck changed lanes, forcing the other car to the shoulder to avoid a collision. Fortunately, no accident occurred, but I think we can all agree that was a very close call. Be careful out there. Josh was driving his Holden Cruise in Australia when another driver drifted out of his lane during a turn and hit Josh's car. The other vehicle drove off, and Josh wasn't able to determine the license plate number from his dashcam video. Fortunately, only his rim was slightly damaged. Day and his wife were driving through a questionable part of Milwaukee when they witnessed what looked like the beginning of a road rage incident. A man got out of a car at a traffic light and pounded on the window of another car, finally giving up and returning to his car just before the light turned green. Day's wife kept an eye on the vehicles as they drove off, and they sent the footage to the police, but they never heard anything else about it. They didn't hear anything about it on the news either. Tyler was on his way to work in his 2002 Pontiac Trans Am WS6 when the driver of a Jeep blindly merged into his lane. Fortunately, Tyler was paying attention and was able to swerve onto the shoulder to avoid a collision. This submitter was driving in Denmark when he accelerated to overtake a tractor pulling a trailer after going through an intersection. The tractor changed lanes without looking, cutting off the submitter and hitting his car with the trailer even after the submitter started honking. The driver of the tractor told the submitter that it was his fault for hitting the trailer, so the submitter called the police. They refused to respond and told the submitter to file a claim with his insurance provider instead. In the end, the insurance company determined the submitter was not at fault, and he was given a settlement which he used to purchase a new car. Mark was driving a Sprinter van for work, carrying around about 1,700 pounds of cargo. A car tried to cut him off just before a traffic signal, and Mark had to slam on the brakes to avoid rear-ending it. The driver came out screaming at Mark that he needed to be more aware of traffic, but Mark thinks his awareness is exactly what allowed him to avoid an accident. What do you think? Leave a comment. Tomer was driving his Toyota RAV4 when he watched a car with a spare tire installed accelerate too hard on a ramp and spin out. If you watch carefully, you can see that the hubcap from his other wheel flew out of the trunk after the impact. He stopped and made sure they were okay before giving them a copy of his dashcam footage in case they needed it for any insurance paperwork. Jeff was driving his 2021 Honda CR-V Hybrid in Connorsville, Indiana, when the driver of a black SUV pulled out in front of him.
Oh! Oh!
The other driver kept right on going without a care in the world, but Jeff is happy that his car's anti-lock brakes and traction control helped him avoid a Honda bump. So are we, Jeff.
What the hell was wrong with her? Excuse me, Lord.
Marco was driving his Renault Twingo Electric one night when a car backed out of a driveway right in front of him. The road Marco was on has a 70 km/h speed limit, about 45 miles per hour, so it's a good thing the other driver stopped in time so Marco would be able to squeeze by. Kathy was merging into bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-35 when her Chevy Spark started sliding in the snow. Fortunately, she was able to maneuver just enough to avoid an accident, and she made it safely home. By the way, Kathy has a YouTube channel of her own where she posts videos of spiders, scorpions, and other crawly things. We put a link to it in the description. Harry was on his way to get muffins with his kids before school, a Friday family tradition, when his Toyota Yaris was almost Tesla tapped at an intersection. He isn't sure, but he suspects the Tesla's active safety features might have kicked in and prevented an accident. Sean was taking his daughter to a violin rehearsal in downtown Chicago on a Saturday morning when a red Volkswagen nearly merged into him to get around a bus. Sean drives a big GMC pickup truck, so who knows why this guy didn't notice it right next to him. A little while later, he gave Sean some "my bad" hand gestures, so Sean understands that the guy made an honest mistake. This video is from me. My wife and I were driving along when we saw a white sedan stopping in a roundabout, yielding to traffic that was entering the roundabout. What a dummy.
It's that white car. What a dummy.
Just moments later, I noticed an Airway Heights police vehicle just ahead of the white car that had stopped in the roundabout, and he seemed to be about to turn off the road.
No, it's an old dude. It's an old dude. It's like he's 55. Old cop got in behind him, and he's pulling him over! Woo!
It turned out that the cop wasn't turning. He was just maneuvering behind the old guy in the white car so he could pull him over and have a little talk with him about how roundabouts work. Sweet. Alex was driving his Kia Rio in Perth, Australia when he saw an odd-looking vehicle drive by. A little later, as he approached an intersection, he confirmed his earlier sighting of a Ghostbusters vehicle. Now there's something you don't see every day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos will be released every Friday.